right, guys, and let's get back to it. This final part here, we're going to be looking at Fahad's essay and then revising our own essay, making sure we've used that opinion language correctly. All right, so the first thing is true or false. Does Fahad agree with Sheikh Khalfan's opinion? Well, no, he doesn't, because according to Fahad, what makes people happy? That's right, it's money. And Sheikh Khalfan actually says, he actually doesn't say one thing one way or the other about money, but according to Fahad, money is what makes people happy. He goes on to give his opinion, and he uses some phrases to do that. So let's see if we can find which of all of these phrases does Fahad use to support or to show that he is giving us his opinion. Well, he starts with "for me," then he goes to "I think." He also has "in my opinion." In his next sentence, he says, "I don't believe." And then he finishes off with "I really think." So Fahad uses a lot of different phrases for giving his opinion. And this is great because we can see a lot of different examples of things that we might want to include in our own essays. Yeah. So the next question is, does Fahad use the phrases at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the sentence? And he uses them at the beginning. Remember, we said most of the time, not always, but most of the time, you're going to want to use these phrases at the beginning of your statement so that then I know what's coming after it is your opinion. So that's typically where you would use those. You can put it other places, but for us, for 340 right now, let's keep them at the beginning. Then the next thing we want to see is what follows Fahad's phrases in Fahad's paragraph. And we can see that after each one of these, he has a complete sentence. So for me, this is his subject. The main thing that makes people happy is, there's his verb. I think that being poor is actually his subject. I know it looks like a verb because it's got that ing, but it's used as a gerund, so it's subject and noun. Being poor changes. There's my verb. It changes everything. The next sentence, in my opinion, this one's a little bit more straightforward. Your family, that's my subject. And then here's my verb, will always have. That's my modal verb phrase there. In my next, I don't believe that a positive attitude, there's my subject. And then I have another modal verb, can make you happy. And that's because it is an if clause. We're going to get to that a little bit later. And then finally, he says, I really think that without money, your life. Again, that's my whole subject. And then I've got my modal verb, will always be. So you can see how Fahad used all of those phrases followed by a complete sentence. So my last question is, does Fahad use the opinion phrases correctly? Yes, he does. Yay, Fahad, good job. My only bit of advice for Fahad in this paragraph is he maybe overuses those phrases. You don't necessarily need one, two, three, four, five different phrases in a 5-sentence paragraph, but it's very clear that Fahad is giving his opinion, and he has used a good variety. So that's kind of a choice of the writer, but it's something to maybe think about. Okay, so now it's finally time for us to revise our own essays. So again, as normal, I'm going to be uploading my pictures as I go to show you the process that I'm going through, but you'll just want to do this on your paper, and when you're finished, upload the final revisions. So I'm again on slide 14 this week, and as usual, I have a checklist. So this is my opinion checklist. It's asking me, did I use a good variety of phrases to express my opinion? And did I use correct sentence structure for giving my opinion? So the first thing I want to do is go through and find those phrases for giving my opinion. Did I have them? Do I have them? Did I use them? And let's see. Yes. So I have, in my opinion, in my opinion, in my opinion. I use the phrases, but I maybe didn't use a good variety, a lot of different ones. So that's one thing I want to think about in my revisions. The next thing on my checklist says, did I use correct sentence structure, right? I think, I believe, whatever, followed by a subject and a verb. So let me go check. So after each of these, yes, in my opinion, a patient friend. In my opinion, a good friend. In my opinion, my friend. So I have a subject. Let's see if I have a verb. Yes. In my opinion, a good friend has. Here we go. In my opinion, a good friend knows. There's my verb. And in my opinion, my friend should share. And there's a modal verb even. So yes, I did use correct sentence structure after each of those phrases. But what I want to do is, I'm going to come back up here and I want to revise my essay to add, I think, maybe 1 or 2 more examples of opinion language. I've only used 3 in a long essay. I think I could use a few more. And I want to have that variety. It's a little boring, in my opinion, in my opinion, in my opinion, right? I want to use something, I want to spice it up a little bit. So what I've done here is, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little light, but I decided to keep my first example here of in my opinion. And then I decided that right here in the middle of my paragraph, I'm going to add, I also think. And when I do that, I want to make sure that I get rid of that capital letter A and make a lowercase a, right? So that's for me to remember when I get to my final draft. Then in my second body paragraph, I decided I'm going to take out this in my opinion and change it to I believe. Just changed it. And then again, I'm going to add in the middle of my paragraph here, furthermore, so I'm doubling it up on some adverbs. Furthermore, I feel a good friend should laugh at the same thing. So I'm adding some more language in there to reinforce, restate that these are all my opinions. And finally, in my third body paragraph, I've taken out in my opinion and just changed it to in my view. Easy change. Nothing else needs to change. And then I added also, again, I'm doubling up on some adverbs. So I've got my adverb that's linking that additional transition word. And then I'm going to add in, I have no doubt, right? To say that this is my opinion, this is something I believe strongly. If I need something, a good friend will bring it for me, right? So now I have a good variety of phrases. I've used a bunch of different ones, and I've used correct sentence structure. So yay! So now let's review what we've learned today. In this lesson, we looked at different examples or different phrases we can use for giving our opinion. And then we looked at how to use those phrases correctly. And finally, we've revised the language for giving opinions in our own essays. So now it's your turn. Revise your opinion language. Use that checklist on slide 14 to revise the opinion language in your essay. When you are sure that you have a good variety of different phrases for giving your opinion and that you've used them correctly, take a picture and upload it here on slide 14. All right, as always, if you have any questions, please talk to your teacher. We are here to help you get through all of this. And always and forever, thank you so much for your time and attention. And I can't wait to see what your opinions are about friendship. Good job.